Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Libservative.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
Yeah, welcome in to another rousing rendition of Libservative, intellectual idiots fostering political and cultural literacy, and the world's smartest internet show. Bell the Body Snatcher on the ones and twos. He, as always, is Corey Walsh.
He's Dan Griffin.
And we're doing a special Tuesday edition, and it just worked out because I have something going on Thursday, so we had to get on here on a Tuesday.
You don't even want to say it.
What? I don't want to say it. I don't want to say what I'm going to do on Thursday.
Why not, Dan?
Because I bought tickets to see this dog shit hockey team months ago when they were good, and they have disappointed us again, these Detroit Red Wings. But on a better note, you can turn that off now.
You sure? You sure about that?
We're coming off a national championship for the University of Michigan basketball.
Oh, fuck yeah. Go
And
Blue.
I was really hoping that we were going to get on here and be able to talk about how we liberated a bunch of bridges and a bunch of power plants in Iran. And nope, just another boring old taco for us. Here we go.
So listen. We know that this quagmire that this Iran war is Trump's fault, but I don't know if it's a good idea to ridicule the man that just went to the war on a whim and saying taco. Because he guy's clearly unstable. He was praising Allah on Easter. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Alex Jones is calling for the 25th Amendment for him.
Yeah, and you had Tucker Carlson. You had Tucker Carlson going off, calling him out, going all the way to the place, all the way right up until he just decides to be done with Trump because he just can't quite get there. I love how in the same breath Tucker goes,
He's the Antichrist.
This guy might be the Antichrist, but I like him. What is that? That's basically what Tucker said on his latest episode. He just can't quite. Can't quite quit him like
So
fucking
honestly,
Brokeback Mountain.
Like the whole Trump team, like there is no griff for him when it comes to like trying to keep in touch with Trump. I honestly believe he thinks he can. If he just finally catches him, he might be able to change his mind because he used to listen to people like Tucker.
Yeah, but then if Mark Levin walks in the Oval Office 20 minutes later, everything goes out the window.
I know, it's fucking insane, dude.
What,
I don't get it.
You were talking to that Carlson, that punk, that fascist.
That Tucker Carlson.
I will say, man, Mark Levin's show is entertaining as hell. It's so funny because he's just an old man yelling at a cloud. It's absolutely fantastic. But tonight, some updates on the attacks that never were, because it was supposed to be. Hold on, I had the original truth in front of me. It was supposed to be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day. Here's Trump's original truth. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day.
Tucker is under investigation for leaking sensitive information about war plans.
I
know it's crazy how fast the FBI can work when they go for that, but nothing with the Epstein files, right?
Yeah, Trump's original truth. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up into one in Iran. There'll be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. He didn't say thank you for your attention to this matter, so he's slipping a little bit. But like, that was the tweet that made Tucker lose his mind, or the truth, I should say, that made Tucker lose his mind. Rightfully so, because he's cursing and praising Allah on Easter Sunday. Like, that's a really good way to get that's a really good way to get the Christians in your corner, I guess. That was the original tweet. So today would be that Tuesday, and now we sit here, and we have what appears to be a 2-week ceasefire with passage through the Strait of Hormuz only under Iranian control, and leaving room for like real peace talks. And Sagar and Jetty tweeted out about an hour ago about the fact that Iranians' 10-point peace deal plans, the White House is saying that it is workable, or Trump is saying that it's workable. I don't know who to give credit for that to. It doesn't matter. But the 10-point Iranian peace plan would include a ceasefire in Iran and Lebanon, Iranian control of the Strait of Hormuz, reparations for damages, limits on enrichment, and lifting all Western sanctions. Now, with that being workable, you still have the goofball people that are, for some reason, still MAGA, these influencers, the Tim Pool types, taking to Twitter. By the way, my offer to fight Tim Pool is still on the table. I would I would love for nothing more than that.
Well, you never made the offer.
That
This is the offer. I don't think you actually offered. You just
said
Jake Paul on it. Dream that you wish came true.
That was a literal dream where I was fighting Tim Pool, and he was extra fat, and RFK was dousing himself with methylene blue, and it was a great dream. I wish it would come true. The
favorite dream. Wait, the methylene blue part or the fighting on Tim Pool? Yeah, you said you wanted to fight Tim Pool.
Somebody please make that dream come true.
He's like, I don't even know who
Jake
you
Paul.
are.
Jake Paul, call it a make-a-wish. Call it a make-a-wish. I'll start training right now. Give me 6 weeks. I'll be in shape.
Who's making the wish?
Me.
Dan, are you sick?
No. I mean, depends who you ask. Mark Levin would probably say I am.
I was going to ask the same shit.
Where the hell was I going with that?
I was wondering why Make-A-Wish would do that for someone who's just a healthy 36-year-old man.
I don't know. Mark Levin probably thinks I'm retarded or something. So does that count? Let's talk to him.
You can prove it, I guess.
Say what I always say.
You take the test. It has the elephant, the horse.
Don't get bogged down by all the haters out there.
Thank you, George Santos. I still haven't listened to his new podcast. I really need to get on that. I really need to get on that.
Best politician there ever was.
George Santos. So with all of these these pieces to this supposed Iran deal, and Trump calling it workable, and you still have the Tim Pools of the world taking to Twitter and just tweeting that Trump won. And my question is, what in the fuck has Trump won? We brainstormed a little bit before the show on things that Donald Trump won in this war with Iran. Billions of dollars lost, alienated allies, American soldiers, 13 soldiers, or I should say service members, dead, 13 of them. 26 Israeli civilians dead. 24 Gulf ally civilians dead. 1,497 Lebanese dead. 3,500 Iranians, including 217 children, dead. So death and destruction. Full control over the strait turned over to the enemy, making them actually more economically viable than they were before the war began.
Oh yeah, and the sanctions are still off. Yeah, they're richer now, during this war, than they were before.
Yep, defensive stockpiles depleted. We've shown our other perceived enemies how we can be beaten militarily, or I shouldn't even say militarily, because Iran's not winning this war with their military. They're winning it through energy warfare. They're using energy as a weapon. We taught the world that negotiations with the United States are not to be trusted, because how many times have we walked into a negotiation, at least twice since the 12-day war, and completely obliterated it either through ourselves or through our allies, just bombing the negotiations away. So there's that. Our word is not to be taken seriously.
Yeah, that part pisses me off. Like, twice we bombed Iran, and it's like,
or the Israelis.
not even.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
And it's
our
not
allies.
even right. It's not even like just the simple fact that they bombed them. They bombed them during diplomacy.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you expect any other country that we have to negotiate with or try to make deals with or any of that are going to trust any fucking word that we have?
We are Lucy. Why would anybody that we're negotiating with
like we soft power extorted countries for years, so now we're just going to do it like fucking tangibly with actual like kinetic energy? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a good trajectory for the country. You know, after this fiasco, the Libyan fiasco, the Ukrainian fiasco, no other country is going to try to give up their nukes, and they're all going to rush for them. Like, that's Strait of Hormuz being traded in the yuan. Like, there goes a big chunk of the petrodollar that was traded in the US dollar. That's now
that brings me to the
unless
next
is that part of the
Trump
deal? Was that even part of the deal? The Strait of Hormuz being open? Did they say anything about it being traded in US dollars?
It just said so far under Iranian control. I mean, that could change in the next.
Okay, well, that was except for like the Saudi countries, but they were trading in yuan with like $2 million toll.
That's the whole thing.
So it's like, is it back to being traded in the US dollar?
I don't know. I don't know if that's been negotiated.
Wait a week in the US dollar and then create inflation here by sending all those dollars back home.
Yeah, and you have, either way, you have a situation where you've lost control of the strait, so it doesn't really matter. That's a huge thing that sweet. It goes back to the US dollar, but you've completely lost control of anything that goes on inside the strait. And I find it hilarious that I don't even think it was a week ago when Trump's running around talking about how, the European nations and Japan and China and all the people that need the strait, because we don't need the strait. They need to be the ones to go open it back up. Now, all of a sudden, the Strait of Hormuz matters again.
And it's the same deal if they had to open it up. They weren't going to do it by force. They were going to make a deal with Iran. They probably would have all pulled together through Iran, $10 billion a year to let us use the strait for free.
So that's another thing that Trump won during this war, having nations essentially looking elsewhere to do business, i.e. BRICS. The United States murdered a religious leader, risking serious blowback terrorism, which honestly, a lot of people in power actually want. They want the blowback terrorism because just like 9/11 and other things, it's just an excuse to take more of your money and liberty away from you. And centralize more power with the federal government. So, I mean, anyone who thinks that any of this is a win for the United States, please never play 3-card Monte in the park because you will lose your life savings. Some old dude or some old black dude named Paco is going to take all of your money. I don't know why I said Paco. That's not really a black name, is it?
I don't know.
Maybe it is.
He's going to take. He was black.
And he's going to deserve every dollar that he gets out of you if you seriously believe that that any of this is a win for the United States, because that's the thing that nobody can seem to point to. Bell, do you have the Laura Ingraham video? Get that one ready, because all that's happening is the essentially the propaganda arm of whatever you want to call it, the Trump administration, the deep state, whatever it is. They're calling things that are wins basically things that are just Trump being pushing Humpty Dumpty off the wall, and then putting him back together again the win. Go ahead and roll this, because this is Laura Ingraham. I would imagine after her fucking like third martini, at least her third martini. It's Ingraham. And her dumb neocon friends. Go ahead.
Of course, the Iranian state TV is flashing comments like, Trump's humiliating retreat from anti-Iran rhetoric. It's just ridiculous. Trump accepts Iran's terms. Of course they're going to do that. What else are they going to say?
Poor Laura,
Admiral, given what you know now, and given what I think you got from my comments about President Trump's
should play her at
mood
like half
tonight,
speed.
what are your takeaways?
Well, I agree with the ambassador. The number one, open up the straits. If that's accomplished and stuff starts flowing tomorrow, then it's a huge victory for the president. And I would tell you one other thing that I think is very important. People
Jesus,
overlook.
is that Ryan Reynolds
I've
from
lived in the
Deadpool?
region for the last 12 years through 4 different administrations. And what I was hearing previous to this event, they did not trust the United States anymore. They did not respect the United States. But more importantly than
Daddy, you're my
anything
daddy.
else, they did not fear the United States. So we had lost all deterrence. The president and this administration have corrected that and changed the paradigm diametrically different. They went into Venezuela. And this president, unlike any president, is the most open, transparent, and vocal we've seen. He tells you what he's thinking, and then he does it. So he said we're going into Venezuela. He said we're going to strike Iran. He said he's going to recover our pilot. He did all those things. So that's what made this possible. The Iranians know he was going to take them to the Stone Ages. So deterrence is back on the table. And then finally, I would add, I think most importantly, based on the recovery of the pilot and what our military has done, we can do anything and everything in Iran we want to do. And the regime knows that. Their days, they were on their deathbed.
And there it is. There it is right there. They were on their death. There's absolutely nothing. There's no evidence to suggest they were quote unquote on their deathbed. And to his point about, the Iranians didn't take the United States seriously, and Donald Trump, flexed his might or whatever the hell he said. Okay, that might very well be true, right? So the Iranians now have a little bit more respect for the Iranians, the Americans' military might. Great. At what cost? All of the things that we just mentioned 5 minutes ago about how our actual allies in the Gulf, the Qataris, kind of the Saudis, the Emiratis, you dragged them into this quagmire where you gained nothing. They gained nothing. You have the Dubai airport on fire. You have the Dubai airport on fire. Maybe the busiest airport in the world. You have, how many more fucking OnlyFans models are going to move into those nice fucking high-rise apartments in Dubai tomorrow? So you fucked them over. It's a joke, dude. It's an absolute joke. It's the most unpopular war in the history of this country, at least this early on.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted it.
It started underwater.
And they didn't even try. They didn't even lie us into it.
Dude, and then like the reason we were there changed like 4 different times.
In a day.
It was about nuclear weapons, but we destroyed their nuclear weapons in July 6 months before. Or 8 months before. And then it was about regime change. And then it was about
liberating the Iranian people. Even though 5 days ago Trump was talking about how he's going to fucking take them back to the Stone Ages. You see how the narrative changes by the minute.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's and then for a minute there Marco Rubio said it was for Israel. And then that was walked back. And now it came to opening the Strait of Hormuz.
And then you had, oh my God,
that's the war now. It's opening the Strait of Hormuz.
Right. The whole, you mean the thing
there was
the thing that was already happening prior to the war?
50% of their arsenal.
Corey, the entire point of this war now is to get us back to the point that we were before the war started.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. you know.
My favorite thing that happened last week, right, when Trump's tweeting, when he's truthing out the fact that like today was supposed to be power plant day and bridge day, is that you had the asshole Zion-Nazis like Ben Shapiro talking about how these are not civilian targets. These are dual use. Talking like a robot like he always does. And I always love the dual use argument because it's like it's the way that Israel has gotten away with smoking Gaza for as long as it has. They just call everything dual use, right? The whole Hamas hides their military under civilian buildings, which, by the way, Israel also does. It's pretty easy to find that out, especially in Tel Aviv. And calling something dual use is kind of a reductio ad absurdum, right? Because it's like, yeah, man, we had to burn all those crops because soldiers eat. You know what I mean? Like, anything can be considered dual use because anything that a soldier would need, civilians also need.
Well, that's why
it's
Gaza's been completely like decapitated from the outside world and not allowed to have anything brought into them, and then they're just shot at all the time.
Yeah, you didn't return enough of our dead bodies.
Because the terrorist organization that was in charge of Gaza was instilled in like the early 2000s by Israel, essentially, to make sure to keep the PLO and Hamas separated, to keep the whole West Bank and Gaza from becoming united. And then they've been funded by Iran. Hamas has, but they've also been funded by like proxies through Israel and America and Qatar to be in charge without having elections, when the average age in Gaza is like 25 years old. So most of them were children when they were put in charge in the first place. And everyone's like, well, why did they vote them out?
So you don't have anybody to negotiate with so that you can continue to quote unquote mow the lawn. Yeah, it's pretty simple.
So it's just a whole thing that was like a 30-year plan, which is
we
wild.
are at a place, Corey, where Trump is trying to claim I shouldn't say this because he hasn't done it yet. And he's pretty unpredictable, so who knows? But it seems like we're getting to a place where Trump is going to try to claim mission accomplished for getting everything back to the way that it was prior to the war starting, after wasting billions of dollars, after depleting all of our Tomahawk missiles. Do you know how many Tomahawk missiles we've used in this war so far, Corey? It's been a couple hundred. Do you know how many
or something like that?
Do you know how many
I think the number is 800. Bell, fact check that. I think we've used like 800 Tomahawk missiles, and we make 57 a year or something like that.
Yeah, pretty unsustainable, wouldn't you say? Yeah, I mean, it's just
that's the thing too. It's like,
disaster.
Like, don't get me wrong. We like everyone like with the actual operation, the machine itself of the military has done
850
Tomahawk missiles used, and the United States military is able to buy I don't know what the number is, but it's less than 100 per year.
But look up how many they can make a year. I think it's like 57 or something like that. Like, don't get me wrong, our military itself, like the operation of getting in and getting that pilot and getting them out, even though they lost things, like they lost a bunch of planes. I think was it $400 million in that mission or something like that lost. The military has only lost like a handful of planes and stuff like that for how many operations they've done over a country that's been preparing for this type of shit for like 47 years. Because, one of the propaganda things here is they're yelling death to America, death to America. It's like, well,
oh, please.
Our media also this whole entire time has been yelling, we need to end this regime. We need to kill this regime for the same amount of time. So like they're hearing the same message from us that we're hearing from them. From our pundits and our speaking heads and stuff like that. And I bet you there's probably a lot of Iranians that are like you and I are. They're like, wow, this is all just fucking stupid. But
and then
it was probably some of the 30,000 of the protesters that got killed.
Don't forget to mention,
but Well, now it's
that-
60,000 though.
Don't forget to mention
The
that
number
the
went
only
up to
reason-
60,000 today.
Don't forget to mention, yeah, and then it'll probably go back down tomorrow. Don't forget to mention the fact that the only reason this regime exists in the first place is because we overthrew their democratically elected leader, threw in a fucking, I guess you could call him a secular Shah that was,
He was a king,
horrible,
basically, yeah.
that was a horrible dictator, and you know, that's what I always the side you fall on these things, as if there's really a side in war, right? Good guys versus bad guys. But to the extent that there is, it always depends on when you think history started. It always depends on when you think history started. It's a huge factor for why Israel's been able to get away with the bullshit they've been getting away with for however many years.
Lily's just been saying a lot of things, so I figured I'd share a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, actually. Those money was like assets that they gave us to buy guns and the regime change and all that shit.
Frozen
So,
assets.
like,
Yeah, Obama gave them back their own money, and I'm glad Lily brought that up too, because if we pay reparations for the damage that we've caused in the Iranian war, do we now get to go back in 10 years and talk about how Trump just gave the Iranians money? Actually, in this case, I think we do, because he wouldn't have had to give them money if there wasn't a fucking war in the first place that we started at the behest of a terrible ally. Anyway,
they
So
also
no, we
said,
can't pull up the plane.
who did we call a martyr?
I don't think we called anybody a martyr.
Okay.
Is she talking about the Ayatollah?
Yeah, maybe.
I called him a religious leader. Is he not a religious leader?
You can't call him that, Dan.
He was a
He's
religious leader.
terrorist.
And by the way, he was also a head of state. And by the rules of combat and by the rules of international law, you don't murder, you don't assassinate heads of state. That's been the case since the 1600s. It's not something you do.
Yeah, I know. That's
the best part about it is the best part about it is that the excuse for that is, well, and it's always the same. It was the same with Iraq. It was the same with Syria. It was the same. Name the government that we've overthrown. The excuse is always, well, we get this terrible person out there. Maybe somebody who's more moderate will come in and take over, without ever considering the fact that every single time it's always somebody who's more radical that takes over. Can anybody provide me an example where that's not the case? Maybe a time where we throw in a puppet for a little while until they get overthrown by their own people, and then somebody more radical takes over.
Yeah, no, that's just it, man. Like, it's
How many history lessons? Go ahead.
Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria.
Every time.
Syria is now
ISIS
being ran
ISIS
by
owns
the
Syria.
Taliban,
Or I'm
or
sorry,
maybe Al Qaeda. One or the
it's
other.
Al-Qaeda. We both got it
Afghanistan's
wrong.
The other.
We both got it wrong. I said ISIS and you said the Taliban. It's actually Al Qaeda.
Yeah, it's Al Qaeda, and then Afghanistan's being ran by the Taliban.
But we're friends with them now. We're friends with Al Qaeda now.
The ones who,
okay.
bob the towers. Like, what happened to we don't negotiate with terrorists till we knew
yeah. Did you see, by the way,
Marco Rubio will be the new Ayatollah.
Yeah, there's going to be some. There's going to be some.
And he'll have a
Jeffersonian-
podcast called "I Told You," even though that joke is stolen. That's not my joke. I can't remember the TikTok name, but it was a good one when I heard it.
I mean, he might be the next president of Cuba. That's a possibility.
No, Trump says he's going to run for the president of Cuba. No, Venezuela. Did you see that fucking video?
No.
He said, when I'm done here, he's like, when I'm done here, I'm going to run for the president of Venezuela. They love me down there.
Dude.
And he goes, and I can learn Spanish quickly. I'm good at language. That's the Trump I love.
Seriously overweight.
That's the Trump I love. That's good Trump.
Very successful, very rich.
And
by the way, just kind of as an aside, did you see Trump is now threatening to imprison journalists, and it totally backfired on him?
Yeah, because the journalist was Israeli.
Yeah, that's the best part. So it was over the lost pilot from the plane that was definitely not shot down by the Iranians, by the way. And somebody had leaked it, and Trump was like, "We're gonna find him. We're gonna find him. But you can't be doing stuff like that. It's bad for intelligence. We're gonna have to throw you in jail." He didn't say that exactly, but it was something to that effect. And Ryan, he's like, "We're gonna find him. We can't find him. We're gonna find him." And then Ryan Grimm goes out and finds this guy in like 30 fucking minutes. Ryan Grimm find him. It was Amit Segal, an Israeli journalist with ties to Bibi Netanyahu. And the weird part about it is that Segal, I don't know how you say his name. He took credit for it, and then he backtracked and said that other outlets like The Guardian and others had actually leaked it before him. That's kind of curious. I don't really know why that happened.
Yeah, I know that's just kind of funny. Like I want first off, arresting journalists is pretty fascist.
Yeah, you're not really doing a good job fighting that fascist moniker there, Trump.
Yeah,
You've done a hell of a lousy job.
When you criticize like that, you just criticizing the government in general, because there is no moral high ground for the Democrats. There is no moral high ground for any either major party when it comes to things like that, because Democrats had a ministry of truth. So,
or tried to at least.
Tried to. But yeah, no, it's.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
He listened to Ted Cruz. He knows what he's talking about.
And I don't listen to women yelling. I tell them to shut up.
That's rude. How dare you? How dare you say that about a wonderful United States congressman like Ted Cruz? How dare you? How dare you? I'm so disappointed in you, Corey Walsh. I don't remember where I was going next with this.
I'm so sorry.
I lost my notes.
I wish I could do something, but I can't.
Oh, this is where I was going to go next with this here. So immediately following the news that we have a 2-week ceasefire, assuming that it's true, by the time somebody listens to the podcast version of this, maybe it's over. Who knows?
As of 9/21, April 7th, the most recent update is Israel is still attacking Iran, says military official. So
I am so surprised.
I'm
really glad you brought that up, because that's actually where I was going with this, Corey. So since the alleged ceasefire has been announced, there have been attacks on the UAE following the ceasefire.
But 12 minutes ago, U.S. confirms release of journalists kidnapped by Iran-backed Kataib Hezbollah militia in Iraq.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, to make it very clear on this show, fuck the Ayatollah. Get rest in piss. I don't like a theological oppressive regime. I don't want to see one being formed here. And sometimes it seems like there is signs when Pete Hegseth only allows Protestants to pray on Good Friday and not Catholics.
Oh, but it was because the chaplain was out of town, Corey. That's why.
They couldn't find another chaplain?
Or just not have one. It's just like, can't Catholics just go into the chapel and pray? Like, what's the difference?
Right. Anyways, I don't like that shit. I like what the founding fathers said. But in saying that, it just seems like time and time again, it like people say, oh, they're delaying and stuff like that. But it's like, Iran does seem to show good faith a lot of times.
Dude, so much of this is relied on Iranian restraint. The 12-day war relied on Iranian restraint.
Yeah. They bombed Israel. They bombed our military bases, and then there was leaks that they reached out to which bases they were going to hit in the first place, but they
were empty.
Force.
Yeah, they were empty.
Yeah, it's just, don't get me wrong, Hezbollah and Hamas are pieces of shit as well. They're always out there fucking meddling around, but that's no different than the American proxies that are out there fucking meddling. What I'm getting at is there's no moral high ground. in this war.
Are you saying war is hell, Corey?
War is hell, brother. War is hell. But just going back to like here, it's like here again, Iran is like, obviously they are reaching out, they are talking, they're trying to make something happen. They released a journalist, but it also shows how much power they have over the fucking Hezbollah.
And the thing about it is, Corey, they honestly, they have no reason to right now. I mean, other than the obvious, which is like, what can we do to stop the onslaught of bombs, which obviously is a huge factor. But when I say they have no reason to, what I mean is the United States and Israel have not shown good faith in these negotiations. And from an energy warfare perspective, the Iranians are winning this war, which really matters a hell of a lot more than what we're able to blow up. And it's the way that it's still looked at in the United States by people that still support this war. Well, we're blowing all their stuff up. It's like, that's not what's going to win this thing. What's going to win this thing is who controls the energy. Lily's family worked
Israel's
for Mark
still
Ringwald
bombing Iran right now
for 18 years.
I don't know
we
if
might have
or if that's true, but
we might have to get
Israel
Lily's
just,
it.
Israel
ahead,
just
Bill.
killed 8 people in Lebanon, and they're still striking Iran.
Yeah.
Are you surprised? Well, but we might have to get to Lily's
Yeah.
information here.
Chinese
I wanna talk
officials encourage Iran to find path to ceasefire with the U.S.
Yep.
What I was getting at is the update that Bell just gave, plus attacks on the UAE following the ceasefire. Israel is claiming that Iranian missiles are coming down on them following these 2-week ceasefire negotiations. Funnily enough,
this in. Sorry to cut you off.
But before you give that breaking news, Bell, get the Joe Kent video ready. Now go ahead, Corey.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. It came to me. No wonder why Trump wants to bomb the infrastructure is because you got a bunch of goddamn liberals on the bridge blocking traffic.
God damn it. We've warned them. We've told them, don't block the streets.
Yeah, don't block the streets.
Do your protests, but man, you ain't going to get anybody on your side blocking the streets.
But military targets, I feel like that's a very subjective term, Lily, because like as we were talking earlier, cornfields and food sources will end up being military targets. To say that, well, because the military uses the power, is a very broad statement because the whole entire civilization is also using the power. Like, look what's going on in Cuba right now. You know why Trump let it a Russian ship got through? Probably got through because all of our military or all of our navy is for some reason all packed into the fucking Red Sea. But they
and
probably
Trump
got
just pretended he let him through.
And but right now in Cuba, like Ryan
Mango tier,
and right now in Cuba, because they're having rolling power outages and straight up power outages in the hospitals where there's infants that are on ventilators and oxygen machines. When that power goes out, Rygrib talks about how the nurses have to hurry up and turn the flashlights on their camera phones or on their phones for their camera and run to these rooms and manually pump the oxygen while the generators kick in because it takes about 5 minutes. And so they have to run and pump these ventilators. Like, I don't know what the population is of Cuba.
We don't need to look it up.
I'm assuming it's probably like maybe 10 million. I feel like that's too much. But Iran is 92 million people, and you have hospitals all over the place that you're going to cut power to, and a bunch of innocent people are going to die.
11 million.
I was pretty close.
Yeah, but they're Hamas.
No, I'm talking about fucking Iran. Like all
I
of
know,
these
they're
people,
Hamas.
all of these
Everybody's
innocent
Hamas.
people. Like, you think you're going to get them on your side? This is how terrorists are made.
How about we all come
Remember
together
last-
and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
Hamas was
Like, you see
invented-
how Americans get riled up over one person being shot by our own government? How do you think we're going to act when someone does that to, like, a foreign government does that to one of our people? You're going to get people radicalized. You're going to get people pissed off.
You're going to have blowback. Ron Paul talks about it a lot. I suggest reading his work.
The split decision was AI. That's all.
Yeah, Lily, we're pretty sure that the split decision was AI. It's either AI or an intern is literally Googling names. And the reason why I say this, Googling like keywords in Iran, and then whatever they see, they're just fucking hitting it. Because
that was great.
Yeah, just using SEOs. And because that school was hit, and that one might have just been a misfire. The missile might have gone off. I'm not saying America did it intentionally, but America killed.
But guess what prevents all of that? Not starting this fucking war.
The reason why it's also like more argument for the AI part is there was also another boys' school that was hit, but there was like on a day that no one was at school, but the name Shahid was in the name of the school, and that's the name.
Was Lindsey Graham there?
He might have been. He was either there. He was either there or in like the Saudi Arabia Epcot, because I saw the sandstone behind him.
Did he bring his gerbil with him? His gerbil that he keeps in his asshole?
And but like the Shahid school was hit, and then a park was randomly hit. It was called Police Park, and they were targeting police stations and police and like civil like officer fucking outposts and shit, trying to destabilize the whole government. So it looks like just keyword searches were being used in that shit.
None of it happens if you don't start a stupid illegal war in the first place. So,
yeah, pretty much. Yes, they ran it through ChatGPT and said, "Let it ride."
Yeah. Or no, I get what's the one they're using? Claude?
No, it was Anthropic, right?
Anthropic, that's what it was.
Because when
that is Claude. That is Claude. Claude is Anthropic.
Okay, but Anthropic goes like, "Don't use our ship for military strikes. The AI isn't ready." And then they said, "You better let us use it, or we're going to use military emergency powers to seize the means of your production."
And then they went, well, Corey, and then they went, "No, we're not going to let you do that." And then Pete Hegseth went, "Then we're going to call you a domestic terrorist."
Yeah.
And they went, "Okay, you can use it."
And then that AI picks a couple schools and a park.
Almost like the AI was going, "See, I told you I wasn't ready for this."
Yeah, see, I can't do this.
So the attack since the ceasefire on the UAE, you got the Israelis claiming that Iranian missiles are raining down on them, maybe as we speak, but definitely as of a couple of hours ago. Funnily enough, American hero Joe Kent came to Twitter or X to talk about this very thing. Bell, go ahead and roll that video. What a handsome devil.
Great news this evening that there's been a 2-week ceasefire agreed upon tentatively between us and the Iranians. It's unconfirmed yet if the Iranians have accepted this deal as well, but I hope that they have. It's absolutely essential that we ensure that the Israelis do not sabotage this 2-week ceasefire or eventually the lasting peace we're trying to achieve with the Iranians. We're on the cusp of being able
That's
to
the quiet part out loud.
Reopened to hopefully start to get the world energy supply and commerce back online. The last thing we need is the Israelis doing what they have done in past negotiations and targeting the negotiators or taking a series of strikes that escalates the conflict. In order to ensure that we can restrain the Israelis, we actually have to start removing features of the military support that we give to them. We have to take away enough from them that they simply cannot go on the offense, that they're using all their military capabilities that we provide for them and that they have organically for the defense of their country and not for offensive operations inside of Iran. It's absolutely critical that we take this step and don't just take Israel's word for it, that they agree to this ceasefire simply because they have a very bad track record of adhering to these deals. We also have to keep in mind that Israel has a different
He's so polite
than we do. us working towards any kind of a deal with the Iranian government works against the Israeli strategic objectives of toppling this government completely and totally. We have to recognize that in order to properly address Israel, because Israel could spoil any peace that President Trump is working to achieve. So we have to keep that in mind. It's very good news we took this ceasefire. We have to understand that there is no military solution to the conflict right now. Basically, every action militarily that we've taken has only strengthened the regime to destabilize the entire region and to take away the security and safety of the free commerce of all of the energy and oil and natural gas that flows out of the region through the Strait of Hormuz. So we have to keep our main objective in mind. It's getting that lasting peace, and we will be the more powerful nation for providing that lasting peace and stability. We will not gain a more powerful position by continuing to escalate the conflict or continuing to strike Iran. In order for us to achieve this goal that we have of bringing about a lasting peace, keeping the Strait of Hormuz open, we have to restrain the Israelis. We have to keep that in mind. So I continue to pray for peace, pray for President Trump, pray for him to have clarity, pray for successful peace negotiations, pray for our men and women downrange in harm's way. Thank you. God bless.
No lies detected. And one thing I think we've maybe failed to say so far in this episode is that, and maybe it's our cynical nature, but it's the fact that, this 2-week ceasefire is a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing.
I'm not going to be one of those people calling Trump a pussy for saving American lives, first and foremost, Iranian lives, Saudi lives, Qatari lives, UAE lives, Israel lives.
But I also think it's okay to point out.
It's a big ass regional fucking problem they started, huh?
So the best case scenario is that this 2-week ceasefire turns into a permanent ceasefire, and this war is actually over. Call me the cynical asshole, as I'm sure many people will. It is okay to point out how risky, dangerous, and stupid this entire thing was. And I don't think we should ever lose track of that. I don't think we should lose track of that. I don't in the same way that I don't think we should ever forget about the unbelievable autocracy that the COVID era was. Don't just let this slide away. But, oh, we got away with it. Go ahead, Bill.
We'll update. Iran's accepting Chinese yuan or stable coins, and they're charging $1 per barrel of oil that goes through the straits.
And some of those ships, I believe, can carry 2 million barrels of oil. Maybe not. That sounds like a shit ton of oil.
No, they
so
said
now you've lost.
Some ships are getting charged millions of dollars.
So now you've lost the petrodollar through the Strait of Hormuz. That's another thing that Trump has won throughout this war. Congratulations.
Yeah. So, and for anyone that thinks we're being one-sided about this, on this show, which this is great when you have receipts, right, Dan? Mm-hmm. On this very show,
we bring them.
When Biden fucking sanctioned Russia during the Ukraine Russian war, and all of those countries in like Eastern Europe and in Asia and stuff started trading in dollars other than the American dollar for that oil. We talked about how that president just damaged irreversibly damaged the dollar more than anyone in decades for this country. And then Trump just took another notch out of it. I don't understand it. Between the two of them now, it almost feels like by fucking design. We literally cut off probably 30%. I don't know how much oil like of the global supply Russia is, but through that strait is 20%. And so you want to say what? 25% conservatively, 30%?
Not to mention the fact that
that's now that as of that now, other than 4 fucking years ago, is being traded in a different currency than the US dollar.
Yeah, and you got countries running bricks. And you can't leave out the fact that sanctions don't harm governments; they harm civilians. Can't leave that part out.
Yeah,
doesn't do anything. And I'm going to say something that is going to be remarkably unpopular with some people here. I think that because of this pointless, wasteful, illegal war, that, by the way, Donald Trump spent a year campaigning that it was never going to happen.
Right. But it was written in the script. This would have happened with Kamala Harris.
Well, here's what I'm going to say.
I don't think I could be convinced otherwise.
Because of this war, I am officially ready to say that Donald Trump is a worse president than Joe Biden. That's not a compliment to Joe Biden. Joe Biden couldn't stand up. Joe Biden apparently couldn't sign his own signature. Joe Biden did not enter a war with Iran. Even George W. Bush and Barack Obama, the Dick Cheneys and the Donald Rumsfelds were smart enough to understand what a bad fucking idea this was. Joe Biden was, maybe it was his handlers. I don't know, but he gets credit for it. Joe Biden was smart enough to realize that this was a bad fucking idea. So you want to talk about hierarchy of like, who are the worst presidents of all time? Because if you're a Trump hater, you're going to say it's Trump. If
you mean best, if he's the a Trump hater, yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're going to say it's Trump.
I'll let you cook.
If you're somebody who just hates Democrats, you're going to say it's Joe Biden. First of all, I got news for you. Neither one of those two are the worst presidents of all time. They are both in the bottom 5 by far. But nobody will ever be a worse president than Woodrow Wilson. And FDR's a pretty close second. But after those two, I think
Carter's up there.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair.
Carter is the one that Carter, like, all of his like advisors and stuff, like when going back to Iran, fucking Iran, it's involved in all of it ever since the 50s when we did that coup, when the Iranian Revolution happened. Their Shah was exiled and he needed medical treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone told America not to take him, and we took him in. And then our fucking U.S. embassy was.
Yep, and the Iranian revolutionaries saw that as a slight, and fast forward 50 years, and here we are.
Mm-hmm. And then years and years later, when September 11th happened, I don't think a lot of people know this. I try to bring it up on the show often now, just to add more just craziness to this whole saga. Iran was actually on the side of America, and they were working together to fight the Taliban. And while they were doing that, we were sharing intel with each other. Our soldiers were working together. George H.W. Bush goes on TV and says Iran is a part of the axis of evil.
That was George W. Bush, not George
W. Bush.
Yes.
Goes on TV and says that they are a part of the axis of evil.
Obama and Larry Sinclair had a steaming love affair. Obama and Larry Sinclair.
But yeah, so
I miss those days. I miss the days of Obama and Larry Sinclair.
You're gay.
Not that I miss the Obama presidency, but just that I miss that that's what people were talking about. Now we're basically living 2 weeks at a time. Honest to God, this entire Trump presidency, at least the second term, we're just floating along 2 weeks at a time. What's going to happen next or not happen next?
Oh, Lord, please.
I couldn't agree more. I don't know how much more we have. Bell, what other video did I? Oh, did you? I sent you the video of Trump basically saying why what we're doing to Iran is okay. You have that? Did I send that to you? It's not because he doesn't say. You just go ahead and play it. Just go ahead and play it.
Mr. President, how would it not be a war crime to strike Iran's bridges and power plants?
Because they killed 45,000 people in the last month. More than that.
No proof of that.
Protesters, they're animals. And we have to stop them, and we can't let them have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. They want a nuclear weapon. They've been trying for a long time. I stopped them with the Obama horrible Iran nuclear deal. I stopped them in a lot of different ways.
Mr. President, how would
Yeah.
You're a fat loser and you have body odor.
Yeah. So he gives numbers that are not verifiable, first of all.
Well, then also, like, here's like, I feel like this is important context because obviously I don't want to see protesters being killed. But if those protesters were being armed, then they're not just innocent protesters, you know, like they went there to fucking fight. And you would hope that if these protesters are serious about starting a movement within their country, even though it wouldn't be organic, that's the thing, is it's got to be fucking organic.
It's never organic.
But if we're giving people this idea that they can fight for their freedom in their country and we're giving them the means to do it, if they organically wanted to do that, it's understandable. But there's risks involved. And Iran shooting at people that are shooting at them versus just unarmed protesters is two very different conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that also is a context. But then they also say that I think it was the Kurds that ran off with the weapons.
Yeah, because they were like, we're not fucking doing this again. Remember that was the first conversation when boots on the ground were was brought up. Oh, we're gonna arm the Kurds. Boy, we've never seen this movie before, have we?
Right.
Only at least 3 times we've seen that movie before. And how well did any of those things go? The thing I picked out of what Trump said there, because the question was, why do you think it's okay to bomb Iranian bridges and power plants? Civilian targets. Oh, but unless you ask Ben Shapiro, they're dual use. And then he goes, because and then he gives the numbers that nobody can verify. But then he goes, they're animals. That, again, dude, not fighting the fucking fascist moniker very well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you just call an entire nation, because that's what you're saying. If it's okay to blow up your bridges, I'm harming everyone that could use those bridges and those power plants and their animals. That's what you're saying. Whether you realize that's what you're saying or not, that's what you're saying. Did Hitler call a group of people animals? I can't.
He might have called them mongrels.
I can't recall.
But that's semantics.
Yeah, it's just like the people that were running around calling Trump a fascist forever. I don't know. It's tough to battle against that now. The problem is they called everybody that was 2 clicks to the right of Bernie Sanders a fascist. So boy who cried wolf. I don't know if you know this, but when you run around calling everybody a fascist, nobody takes you seriously. And then
just like when you run around calling everyone a racist, you don't take them seriously. There's a couple other words, right?
Then when the real fascists and racists and anti-Semites show up, nobody pays attention.
Right.
Yeah, not so good.
There's a lot of trivial things they went hard after Trump for that, like every other politician has done. They just didn't like Trump because he accidentally said the truth sometimes. And Jimmy Dore said
he still does. I give him credit for that. I give him credit for that all day long. He accidentally said.
Yeah, I saw a fucking press thing. He was like, "Yeah, we sent in the military." And he looks at his general and he goes, "How many guys did we send in there to do that job?" And then he goes, "I prefer not to say." And he goes, "I'll say it. 100 guys." Like, what the fuck?
He really does. He really does say the
military loose lips sink ships. The military wants the military wants Iran guessing. Was that 1,000 guys? Was that 10 guys?
He's talking about freedom, you fucking queers!
We're an hour in, Corey. I know we were a little short prepared, but this is kind of our first sort of breaking news episode.
Ukraine blew up the Crimea bridge, and the Democrats gave them a medal. Is it still working? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Just
Pretty
like
simple-
when
simple
America
answer.
and you they tried to put it on Ukraine scuba divers, but we know it was America because even Biden said that they're gonna stop the what pipeline was it? Nord Stream? Was that the Nord Stream
Yeah,
pipeline?
Nord Stream 2. Yeah.
The Nord Stream 2 pipeline that America was going to stop it one way or another, and that's how Germany got their oil, and that mysteriously got destroyed, and it was probably America, and we have receipts for that too. We called that a fucking war crime.
Yeah. It's just war's bad and pointless.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
why,
no,
I don't know why we have
Lily,
to say
you're
that.
new to the show. You're gonna find out real quick that we just don't fucking like the government. They fucking suck. Big government and big business in bed with each other has led to the quagmire. that
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Okay, we have all just participated in a hate crime.
I'm sure we did somewhere down the line, somewhere down the road. You got anything else, Corey? You got any closing thoughts here? This is kind of our first sort of breaking news episode we've done in a while. I had fun. This was a good one. And by the way, I'll say it again. Thank you. I'll say it again. The 2-week ceasefire is given the circumstances, is a very, very good thing. I hope it continues.
Yeah, I mean, because I have no power over whatever happens anyways. It's just like, I guess I'll take it. Animal House. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
I mean, dude, given the circumstances, it was the best case scenario. Given the circumstances, it was the best case scenario. I mean, once you already fall in the water, the only thing you can do is find the ladder and climb out. Trump found the ladder. I don't know if he can pull himself out, but he found the ladder. At least that's the start. Let's roll with that. Yeah. You want to tell the people where they can find us?
Yeah, I could do that. Libservative Podcast is found on all social media and podcast platforms. Our website is libservativeshow.com. We can be found at Libservative on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Instagram and Twitter at LibservativePod. Our TikTok videos can be found at Libservative Podcast, and you can reach out directly at libservativepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today.
And send the episode to a friend. Word of mouth is what helps us out. We don't make any money on this at all. And we don't really plan to make a whole lot of money on it. Hopefully some at some point, so we can bring you our big brain thoughts full time. But it helps a lot. Tell somebody about it.
Podcast.
That's right.
You've done a hell of a lousy job.
What you got, Bill?
What?
So you still have Trump talking to kids about the auto pen.
Oh shit, I do. We still have that.
Oh shit. Okay, I guess we're not going anywhere yet. I didn't see this. Let's end it with a little bit of fun. Here we go.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Funny Trump. I like funny Trump.
Oh, that's nice. I think I even signed this. That way I say, I do it. Look, I do it. Look what I did, everybody. Now, Biden would use the auto pen.
Biden
He'd
would
have
use
an
the
auto
auto
pen policy. Joe Biden. He didn't sign. He was incapable of signing. He said, so they'd follow him around with a big machine. You know what it's called? An auto pen. And he'd have the auto pen signed. He'd take the paper, hand it to his guys, sign it with an auto pen, get it back. Not too good, right? Better than sign.
You know what my favorite part about that was that I'm assuming that was AI, or did that really happen?
No, that was real, dude.
It was real. Okay, all right. You never know these days. But my favorite part about it is before he even starts talking about the auto pen, the way he holds the fucking picture up and goes, "Look what I did!" Like he wants to give it to somebody to hang on a refrigerator.
He took it from a different kid and said, "I'm gonna tell them I drew this. Look what I did, everyone."
I know. he's
That's
giving
fun,
it to
Trump, though. Like that, yeah. Remember 2016?
That's the whole thing, man. That's the whole thing. It's like we talked about when he first took over in his second term. Like when he's fucking shitting on the libs and he's he's trolling the libs during his little honeymoon phase,
cooking and
yeah,
and he's not fucking
that's
with,
fun
with anyone's personal liberties or rights or their privacy.
But then when shit gets real, not no mo. Not no mo.
Listen, I've got to give a clue here now. I don't want any more bullshit anytime during the day. We get anybody yelling around here anymore today, and then the shit is going to hit the fan.
Anyway, that's funny. You already told the people where they can find us, so I guess
Yeah,
I can
did.
sign. I guess I can sign us off now. For Bell the Body Snatcher on the ones and twos, he as always has been Corey Walsh.
He's been Dan Griffin.
This has been Libservative, intellectual idiots fostering political and cultural literacy.
You're gay.
That's true. And the world's smartest internet show. And until next time, we are out of here.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back. Somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.